Okay, kiddos, here we are with another lesson. First of all, everybody make sure, please, you have a notebook paper, your notebook out with paper, and a pencil for today's notes. And today we're going to cover multi-step equations with distribution. So we're going to cover multi-step equations with distribution are our notes today, right? So our first lightning bolt here says get all variables to one side, right? Remember, variables mean the letters, right? So we're going to get all our letters, all our variables to one side of the equation, okay? Second lightning bolt says get all numbers to the other side of the equation, right? So that means we're going to get all numbers to the other side of the equation. So that means that if the variables are on the left, then the numbers are on the right. Or the opposite, if all the variables are on the right, all the numbers are on the left, right? That is our strategy. Next, lightning bolt is get variable by itself. So the idea is to get whatever variable we have, whether it's x, y, z, m, or on this first example, k. On the second example, k as well. That's a coincidence. We want to get those k's by themselves, right? So let's start with our first example here. Let's pick pink, right? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our line of separation as always, right? Okay. Now, the first thing that I notice in this equation that's different is the parentheses. So we remember that parentheses means multiply, right? Once again, what does parentheses mean again? It means to multiply. So we are going to multiply the negative 8 here that's on the outside, right? We're going to multiply this negative 8 that's on the outside. We're going to multiply that negative 8 with 9k, but also with negative 1. So we're going to distribute. Distribute means we're going to hand out this 8, negative 8, to 9k and to negative 1. So let's see what that looks like. Right? So we're going to distribute. So this 8, negative 8k is going to multiply. I'm sorry, negative 8 is going to multiply with positive 9k. Again, negative 8 is going to multiply with 9k, but it's also going to multiply with negative 1. So let's do them one at a time. A negative times a positive is a negative. 8 times 9 is 72, but I can't forget my k, right? I can't forget my k right here. So this k is going to come down just like that. Okay, so we did the top, right? This negative 8 times 9k gave us negative 72k. And now negative 8 times negative 1, negative times negative is a positive plus 8 times 1 is 8. Now, everything else, guys, nothing happened to it. Nothing happened to plus 6 equals negative 202. Nothing happened to that. So all this plus 6 and negative 202 simply comes down. So plus 6, negative 202. Just like that. So what do I see here? I see an 8 here, and I see a 6 here. Right? So I want these two numbers to come over to this side because those are just regular numbers. Because this k is going to come down here. Right? This k is going to come down here. So I can actually write it here, just like this, k. So, like I said before, right? All the variables on one side and all the numbers on the other side. So, these two are just regular numbers. So we want to move these over. But before I move them over, I'm going to add them. 8 plus 6. So 8 plus 6 is 14. And it's a positive 14 because 8 is bigger and 8 is positive. Right? Now I can move this plus 14 over to this side, and it becomes a what? Exactly, negative 14. So I can cross that out and say negative 14, just like that. Right? So what do I have left? Well, on this side, I have a negative 72k. So I'm going to write it over here just like this, negative 72k. And here I have a negative 2 and a negative 202 and a negative 14. Are those the same sign? They are, right? Negative 202 and negative 14. And what do I do when I'm adding and subtracting and I have numbers that are the same sign? Exactly, I add. So 202 plus 14 is 216. And it's a negative 216 because 202 is negative and 202 is bigger than 14. Okay? Then I remember that a number next to a letter means times, right? It means times. A times goes there. So I'm going to put it there. And now, to get rid of my negative 72 here, times, I'm going to cross it out, and I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to bring it over here, and it's going to become a divide by negative 72. Right? So a negative divided by a negative is a what? What is a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And 216 divided by 72 is 3. And that is our first example. Right? Lots of steps, right? Lots of steps, but if we do it slowly, it'll be okay. Right? Let's do the next example on the right side, right? Everybody make sure you have your paper and pencil out. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our line of separation here. We're going to say equal. So first thing that I notice is my parentheses. Parentheses, again, means multiply. So I'm going to multiply the negative 5 times negative 5k, and I'm going to multiply negative 5 times positive 5. So I'm going to do this one up top first. Negative times negative is a positive. 5 times 5 is 25. 25, and let's not forget our k. 25k, right? Now I'm going to do this bottom one here. Negative times positive is a negative, right? 5 times 5 is what? 5 times 5 is 25. Now, you see this plus 6k here? Nothing happened to that, right? It's not inside the parentheses, right? So it's just going to come straight down. So I'm going to write it as plus 6k. And you see this 223 here? Nothing happened to that either. So it's going to come straight down as 223. Okay. Now, here, what do we see here? I see a k here, and I see a k here. So I'm going to combine these k's. I'm going to bring this k together with this k. Now, if you notice, they're both on this side. Look, right? There's no k's here. All the k's are on this side of the line. So we're just simply going to combine them. I'm going to 25k plus 6k. These two just add. No doing the opposite, right? Because they're not moving sides, right? Neither one of these k's here is going over to this side. No, they're still here. So there's no need to do opposites. So let's just add them. So 25 plus 6 is 31k. Now, this minus 25 here, nothing happened to that. But what I want to do is I want to bring this minus 25 over to this side, right? Because this is just a regular number. So this minus 25 is going to come over to this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross out minus 25, and the opposite of minus 25 is plus 25. So 223 plus 25 is 248, right? 248. And what now? What do you think? What do we do next? Right? Okay. Well, yes, we're going to see that we have 31k here. And what does a number next to a letter mean again? Exactly. It means times, right? So I want to cross out this 31 here, just like that. And I'm going to bring it over to this side. But multiplying when it comes over becomes dividing by 31. And now this k here can come down by itself. And I have k, and 248 divided by 31 is 8. And there we go. Look at that. Those are two examples of multiplying equations with distribution, right? I know, a lot of examples, a lot of steps, but it's okay because we're going to take our time. If you need to rewind, go ahead and rewind a little bit and look at the steps. But we're going to do a few more examples just so we're comfortable. Okay? So let's move on here to the next page, and let's do number 1 here. It says solve each equation, right? So let's pick purple, right? Laker purple. So we're going to draw our line of separation, and we're going to draw equal on the bottom. So again, right? First thing we do is draw our line of separation. Second thing we do is we notice parentheses. Parentheses. And tell me again, what does parentheses mean again? Exactly, it means multiply. So we're going to multiply this -3 times 5n, and we're going to multiply this -3 times -1. So negative times positive is a negative, right? Take it one step at a time. 3 times 5 is 15, and let's not forget our n. Okay, -15n. Next, we're going to do negative times negative, right? Because we're doing this one now. So negative times negative is a positive, and 3 times 1 is 3. And now I bring down my 153, right? Because nothing happened to this 153. It just comes right down. Okay. Now I notice that there's nothing else to do here. There's no other number. There's no other n. So, see? And n is only here. There are no n's here. So this n is going to come down right there. So, perfect n. So since my n's are going to be on this side, then I want to bring this +3 over to the left side. And when it comes over, it becomes a -3. -3. So now I have 153 minus 3 is 150. And I'll bring down my 15n, right? This -15n just came down. And again, I'm reminded that a number next to a letter, this -15n, means times. So for me to cancel this -15, I'm going to cancel -15. The opposite of -15 times n is divided by -15. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. And 150 divided by 15 is 10. Right? So that was number 1. So let's move on to a tougher one again, just like the ones that we did in the example. Okay, so this one is a little tougher, right? So more steps than the one that we just did in number 1, right? So just like in the notes, first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our line of separation, right? Always, always, always number 1, first thing to do is draw our line of separation. Okay. Number 2 is I noticed a parentheses, so parentheses, right? And now remember that parentheses means multiply. So I know I'm going to multiply 5 times 4, and I'm going to multiply 5 times 5p. Now in this case, I have a positive 5 here. So whenever you multiply something by a positive number, it doesn't change any sign. Okay? Again, when you multiply something by a positive number, it does not change any signs. So this is going to be a little easier when I multiply, right? So 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, now I do the second one. 5 times 5 is plus 25p. Now, I still have my negative 7p, so it's just going to come down like that. And I have my 146 over here on the left side. Okay. So now I notice, remember, my goal is to get p by itself. But the problem is that I have p here and p here. Fortunately, they're both on the right side, so I don't have to bring anything over to this side. I can just combine these two right here, just like that. So 25p minus 7 is 18p. And it's a positive because 25 is bigger and 25 is positive. So now I have all my p's. So my p is here. So it's going to come down over here just like that. So I know that p, my variables are going to be on this side, and my numbers are going to be on this side. So I need to move this 20 over to this side. So if I cross out 20 and I bring it over, it's going to become minus 20. So 146 minus 20 is 126, right? 126. And what's next? What do you guys think? What do I have to bring over to get p by itself? Huh? What do I have to bring over to get p by itself? Exactly, 18. 18, right? So I remember that 18p means 18 times p. So I'm going to cross out 18 here, and I'm going to divide by 18. 126 divided by 18 is 7. So 7 is equal to p. And that is our solved equation. Right? And finally, let's do number 3 here. That's a little more simple. Right? Let's change the color to Dodger blue. So, first thing again I'm going to do is draw my line of separation, draw my equal sign. I notice my parentheses, and parentheses means multiply. And what is outside my parentheses here? Negative 10, exactly. So I'm going to distribute negative 10 to 6x and negative 10 to 5. So a negative times a positive is a negative. 10 times 6 is 60x. Right? Next, we're going to negative times positive, right? Because I'm doing this one now, bottom one. Negative times positive is negative. And 10 times 5 is 50. Now this negative 590 just comes straight down because nothing happened to it. Fortunately here, there's nothing to combine. Look, there's only one x right here. And this x is going to come straight down. Right? So I'm going to bring down x right here. Just like that. So on this side are my x's. That means that this negative 50 is in the way, so I got to move it over here. So when it comes over, it becomes a plus 50. So a negative 590 and a positive 50 are not the same sign, so I do what? Exactly, subtract. So 590 minus 50 is 540. And it's a negative 540. Why is it a negative 540 again? Exactly, because 590 is negative and 590 is bigger, right? So I still have my negative 60x, right? Right here, I just brought it down. So again, I'm reminded that negative 60x means negative 60 times x. So I'm going to cross out negative 60 on this side, and it's going to divide on the other side. A negative divided by a negative is a, exactly, positive. And 540 divided by 60 is 9. And that is our solution. So these are the examples for multi-step equations with distribution. And these are our original notes. So make sure that you will have copied all the notes. And if you need any help, practice these problems again, rewind the video, and watch it again. Thank you.